What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video with me, the Angry Trainer. I hope you've all had a lovely festive period. In this video we're going to be taking a look at some Holiday Cup battles that I did featuring Shadow Aerodactyl. Now I'm really happy to finally use Aerodactyl in some capacity in Pokemon Go, as it's been pretty useless since the game started. But in this particular cup it's got a lot of play with all the flyers and the ice types going about. So this Aerodactyl that I'm using is a really good rank for Great League. It's actually a rank 12 and we're going to be using it with Rock Throw, Earth Power and Rock Slide. We're going to be pairing this up with one of the MVPs of Holiday Cup. So we've got Vigoroth on the swap. This is quite a good rank as well. It's ranked 165. IVs are 4, 10, 13. And we're going to be using that with the usual moveset of Counter, Bulldoze and Body Slam. And then finally in the back to cover that, we're going to be having Wigglytuff, the fat pink charm user. Charm, Ice Beam, Play Rough. This is a pretty good rank as well. It's 216, 4, 12, 15 are the IVs. So the main thinking with the team that went around the Aerodactyl was we just wanted something that could cover the weakness to Unova, Stunfisk and Agrav, like it's quite weak to the electric types in this meta. So Vigoroth and Wigglytuff both have play against those Pokemon, so that's why I've got them there. So into the first one we had a Abomasnow on the lead, so this is pretty good for us. We're going to be doing a lot of damage with the Rock Throw as their Ice typing is weak to Rock, but they are doing super effective to us with the Ice typing. But they make a swap out into Jellicent, which is absolutely fine. We stay in for a bit and farm up a little extra energy, and then we'll make a swap into Wigglytuff. Now, as Wigglytuff is part normal, we're going to be resisting the ghost moves. So if they have Shadow Ball there, we're going to avoid the damage on that one. They are throwing Bubble Beams and debuffing us, so that does make me think they have Bubble Beam and Shadow Ball. We're going to look to charm them down the whole way, even if they debuff us by 4 stages. But they go for an Ice Beam, so that's crazy. So they're running Bubble and Ice Beam. So not very often that you see a Jellicent without Shadow Ball. So we do manage to win that, and we've got some loaded energy to go. Even though we are debuffed, I think they got 2 Bubble Beams off, maybe even 3. But they're going to shield it up anyway, so that's great for us. So we managed to win the swap, and we're looking pretty good now. So we bring in the Vigoroth against the Stunfisk. We didn't actually have to worry about switch locking ourselves, because even if they come in with the Abomasnow, we'd be able to farm them down the whole way, and then we'll have a load of energy to go against the Stunfisk. So we're getting off some Body Slams. We did build up to the Bulldoze to bait and potentially get the last shield out of them, but they did call it, so it's a good call on their end. But at this point, we're just going to commit straight to the Body Slam spam, as it's definitely going to be taking them out, so they're going to have to commit shield eventually. So there goes the last shield. We do have some loaded energy on the Aerodactyl as well, so we should be looking pretty here. They're going to have to let this one go through. They are looking really low now. And likely we're just going to let this go through, as the Aerodactyl will be able to close it out, even though the Stunfisk has a little bit of health. So we're coming with the Aerodactyl, and they swap into the Abomasnow, and we just get off this Rock Slide, which is easily going to KO the Frosty Man. The Winter Tree being stoned to death by the Flying Fossil. Merry Christmas, everyone. So GG's to my opponent, and into the next battle we go. So we've got a Lantern on the lead, which isn't particularly great for the Aerodactyl, especially considering it's a water gun Lantern, so it'll be doing a lot of damage to us with the super effective fast move. We make a swap into Vigoroth, and we're met with a Wigglytuff counter swap. Now this did seem to be quite an often matchup that I'd be getting in the Holiday Cup if I made a swap into Vigoroth. A lot of the times it was met with Wigglytuff, but that is completely fine with us, as we're going to be able to out-spam them completely with the Body Slams. They've already committed a shield, so they're going to have to commit both of their shields if they want to win the swap. And they do actually commit both the shields, and we've used none, so that's great. Vigoroth versus Wigglytuff is quite a good matchup. So we come back in with the Aerodactyl. We're going to shield this up, because it's obviously going to be an Ice Beam, which will be doing a lot of damage. And then we're going to make an instant swap into the Wigglytuff as soon as they bring in the Lantern. And just hoping that the Wigglytuff can deal with what they got in the back, and it is actually in the lower Ninetales. So it's looking pretty good for us now. We don't have to shield this up, because what we can actually do is come in with the Aerodactyl, and we can farm down the Ninetales the whole way, because it's super effective. The Rock Throw, I mean, it only took 2 Rock Throws to take them out. It shows how powerful the fast move damage is. And can we get to this Earth Power against the Lantern? This is going to be doing a ton of damage. Lantern is tanky. Will it be able to take them out? Easily takes them out. So we were able to win that one, even though we had quite a hard lead loss. Vigoroth is just such a powerful safe swap, even in the open Great League. So in this condensed meta, it's just even more powerful. So into the next battle, we've got Dragonite on the lead. So that's a really good lead for us, as it's really squishy in the Great League format, and we're doing super effective with the Rock. So they made a swap into Lapras, and we're going to come in with the Vigoroth. We'll be doing super effective with the counter damage. And we'll be able to spam the Body Slams against them. So what we do is get them quite low and then just go for the Body Slam, hoping this will take them out. And they do actually commit shield, which is quite a surprise to me. So we're farming up a little bit more energy, and they get to a surf. So we're going to commit this shield. We're going to match shields with them. And then we're going to look to probably farm down if possible. But where they've got Water Gun, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the matchup, so I didn't know how close they were to a move. We throw the move and then undercharge it so we can get a little bit more farm in and build up to another Body Slam. So we're going to be able to get the Body Slam off against the Dragonite, which is going to be doing a nice chunk of health. Puts them into the yellow. Obviously going to come back in with the Aerodactyl. And we've got two things that can completely destroy Dragonite. For some reason, I swapped it into the Aerodactyl and then make a swap into Wigglytuff, which is really strange. I'm not sure why I did that. I should have just stayed in with one or the other because now I'm locked. And against the Marowak, it's not the worst matchup, as we're resisting the decent hit moves like Shadow Ball, but Bone Club and Fire Spin are obviously going to be taking us out. And at this point, they could probably just farm us down if they commit this shield and then have some energy to go against the Aerodactyl. So it was a really big misplay to have made that swap. I should have just stayed in with the Aerodactyl there or just brought in the Wigglytuff. We would have easily been able to win this match because now we've got to call whether this is a bait and it's a Shadow Bone and we let it go through. So they've taken us out and we should have easily won that match. It was a really weird swap on my end there. And all three Pokemon in that battle were weak to rock, so it was a missed opportunity for the Aerodactyl there. So into the next one, we had Talonflame on the lead, so the best lead possible, and they made a swap into Wigglytuff, so we come in with the Vigoroth. Here's this matchup again. So like we saw in the previous battle, they can win the matchup if they commit their shields, but it looks like they're just going to let this go through. Unfortunately, we got a little bit greedy there and thought we may be able to farm down the Wigglytuff the whole way. And they do get to an Ice Beam, so we're going to have to commit our first shield. So we're now at a shield deficit, but we have won the switch advantage. And considering they have Talonflame in the back there, it's all that matters because we're going to be able to take the Talonflame out in a few rock throws where it is double weak to the rock. So they brought in a lower Marowak, and we went straight for the Body Slam as we thought they were going to bring in the Talonflame, which is obviously not very effective. But we did do a decent amount of damage to the Marowak before we went down at least. So now we're just going to come in with the Wigglytuff here and look to charm them down as far as we can. It doesn't really matter too much what happens with the Wigglytuff. We know that we've got the Aerodactyl there and we're going to be able to take out both of these Pokemon with the Aerodactyl. And this is the good thing about Aerodactyl. In this meta, there's lots of double fire or like ice and flying types. So a lot of the times it can sweep. So they do commit a shield there, which is fine with us. We're going to bring in the Aerodactyl and you see how much damage it's doing. Look at that. They can't even get up to a flame charge. So the Aerodactyl absolutely pulverizing the Talonflame and then finishing off the Marowak. A nice little sweep there at the end. So GG's. And then we've got another Talonflame on the lead, so another really good lead for us, and then make a swap into Vigoroth. So not the best for the Aerodactyl, and we're going to have to bring in our own Vigoroth. So we could have brought in Wigglytuff, but as we see, we could still lose that even in the two shields. So what we need to do is bring in the Vigoroth, put the pressure on with the counters and the body slams, and see how it goes. So they are shielding that one up, that's absolutely fine. We've actually committed a shield already, and we're going to commit our second shield. We really want to win the switch here, but I'm not sure that was the right play. We build up to another body slam and throw just before they get to theirs. See if they want to commit their second shield. I wouldn't have thought so. So yeah, they do let it go through. And now they're going to come in with the Talonflame. So this isn't looking great for us now, as they're probably going to be able to fast move us down. And even a resisted move against the Aerodactyl is going to do a lot of damage, as it is Shadow. So we make a quick swap into Aerodactyl to try and snipe them and do a lot of damage. But unfortunately, they do throw the flame charge just as we swapped it in. And they come in with a Lantern. So this isn't looking great for us at all. We're going to go for the Earth Power here, hoping that they don't know the moveset and they're going to let it go through. But they know their stuff. They commit the shield. We did get the defense drop, so that's really good. But in all honesty, I don't think it's going to matter. Unfortunately, 2 Thunderbolts is going to be enough to take out the Wigglytuff. And they do have quite a bit of energy, and it takes forever for Wigglytuff to get up to its charge moves with the charm. Such poor energy generation in exchange for that high damage output. So they get to the second Thunderbolt. We're able to get to a body slam against the Lantern, which is really good. So we're going to be able to take out the Lantern. But I think they got some health in the back left on the Talonflame, and they're able to incinerate us down. So unfortunate on our end there. We should have won considering we had such a good lead, but we did play that middle matchup a bit wrong. So fair play to my opponent. Into the next one, we've got Trevenant on the lead, so not great for the Aerodactyl at all. It's going to be really digging into us with the Shadow Claws, and the Seed Bomb is only neutral, as obviously we're part rock typing, so that's neutralizing the resistance to grass. But luckily, as they're not resisting our fast move and Trevenant's pretty squishy in the Great League, we're doing a lot of damage. We've already got them into the red there, so we did get a shield out of them with a rock throw. And then we made a quick swap into Wigglytuff just to keep the Aerodactyl alive. And they brought in an Alolan Ninetales, so it's absolutely fine with us. We're probably going to just let this go through. We know we can come in with either the Aerodactyl or the Vigoroth and take them out with our fast moves. But I think they might have undercharged the Weather Ball there a little bit, which is quite a good play by them. We come in with the Vigoroth, do a couple of counters and take them out. And now they come in with the Talonflame. So an interesting position we're in here. We really wanted the Aerodactyl to be up against the Talonflame, but we're still going to be able to spam these body slams and do quite a bit of damage to the Talonflame. They commit their second shield on a body slam, which is a really interesting decision by the opponent. So now we're going to get off another body slam here and probably look to swap maybe into the Aerodactyl. Yeah, we are going to make a quick swap, and look at that, we're able to snipe them. Easily taken out a quarter of the health, and then they back out. They know they've been jimmied there. So it's unfortunate there, but the double super effective rock throw damage, it's just so crazy quick, and it just took out the Talonflame before they had a chance to react. So into the next one, we had a Skarmory on the lead. So fairly neutral matchup. I think they would have outpaced us to the moves, but they did make a swap into Vigoroth, so that's fine. We came in with the Wigglytuff, so now we're on the other end of this matchup, and we know how it works. So strangely enough, I commit a shield, which is really interesting because I know they're going to get to another body slam. So I'm not really sure why I've done that. Are we able to charm them down? We're not. They do get to another body slam. And we double shield the Wigglytuff. So absolutely insane. I think at the time I was thinking I just wanted to win switch and we're going to be able to get to a move at least. So we've committed both our shields. We're going to come back in with the Skarmory. We're going to go straight for an Ice Beam. Really hoping they shield this up because we're obviously down 2 shields and they don't shield it up, which isn't great for us at all. They come in with a Magneton, so things aren't looking too bad for us now because they made that swap and switch lock them. A Magnet Bomb's not going to be enough to take us out, so we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with the counters and probably get it down as low as possible. We do go straight for the body slam just to make sure we can get a shield out of them. So see if they want to shield it up. They actually let it go through, so completely sacking the Magneton, and then we come back in with the Aerodactyl against the Skarmory. Can we do enough fast move damage here? So we get up to a Rock Slide. We're going to throw it just to try and get a shield out of them, but I don't think it's going to matter. We need to do the fast move damage here. We get an absolute ton of lag, and then it goes through. What happened there? That was so strange. Why would they not shield? It looked like it went through, but it only did a little amount of damage. They finally get off a Brave Bird. Why would they go for Brave Bird? And then we come in with Vigoroth and counter them down, even though they have 2 shields. So that battle was insane. It didn't make any sense to me, all the stuff that was going on, and somehow we managed to win it. Crazy entertaining battle, but I don't really understand what the plays were from either side. So heading into the next battle, so we had an Alolan Graveler on the lead, so this is the problem for the team. We made a swap into Wigglytuff as we didn't want to go into Vigoroth as that's our direct counter, but they didn't swap out, they stayed in, they threw a Stone Edge, and it did so much damage to the Wigglytuff, took us out. So we're waiting at our switch timer now, and then we come back in with the Shadow Aerodactyl against the Frostlass. Now, as they're Ice typing, this is going to be absolutely destroying them, and we are able to rock throw them down the whole way. They're likely going to come back in with maybe the A-Grav, even though it's only got a little bit of health left. Yes, they do. Luckily, we're able to make a quick swap into Vigoroth just before they're able to swap out and counter down the A-Grav, which is really good for the Aerodactyl. They got 2 shields, but we've got 2 Pokemon left, and they've got Altaria in the back. So looking really good for the Aerodactyl. What we're going to do here now, obviously, is just go for some spam with the Vigoroth, try and maybe get a shield out of them, and obviously we're not going to commit any of our shields. They're probably going to look to farm us down, but they probably won't be able to get to 2 Sky Attacks before we're able to take them out, hopefully with the Aerodactyl. We're going for another body slam here. See, do they want to commit the shield? They probably will have to keep themselves in some sort of health, but luckily we do have some energy on the Aerodactyl, so we swap them in and we get the Rock Slide off and take out the Altaria there. So that was a really good battle. Even though we had a really poor lead up against the Alolan Graveler, we're able to swap the match around. So really, really good there. And into the next one, we've got a Shadow Aerodactyl mirror match, which is insane. And then they make a swap into Stunfisk. So interesting, they chose to pull out of that, even though we're in the mirror match. I would have just stayed in there, not really sure why you wouldn't see that out. I would always see out the mirror match. There's no point swapping yourself out of something like that, as it's completely neutral and one fast move may be the difference. So they went into the Unova Stunfisk, which is also great because we don't want to see that against the Aerodactyl. So we brought in the Vigoroth, which was going to be pretty much the answer to the Stunfisk. We didn't hit the body slam before they got to their charge move, so there's a bit of a misplay on my end, as we could have avoided using another shield there. So what we're going to do is just over farm now, just to overcompensate for the fact that we had to use that extra shield. Luckily, we're able to counter them down before they get to another move. We go straight for the body slam, thinking they're going to come back in with the lead Pokemon, but actually they brought in a Drifblim. So now what we do is we make an instant swap it into Aerodactyl, because we know that it doesn't matter either way. We've got the Wigglytuff there for the Drifblim, and even if they swap into their own Aerodactyl, we're doing super effective to them back. So as you can see there, we've already got them into the red. We can just come back in with the Wigglytuff now, charm down the Aerodactyl, and then we've just got the Wigglytuff against the Drifblim. And even though they probably would be able to do some decent damage to us with Icy Wind, we've got a shield left, and the charm fast moves were going to be enough to take them out. So they do us both a favour and back out. So a great win there, and now we're going to the next one. We've got the Electrode on the lead, so really terrible lead as they're doing super effective against us with the electric type. We made a swap into Vigoroth, and they come in with their own Shadow Aerodactyl, so very strange we're seeing all the Shadow Aerodactyls now that we're running it. It does seem like this is a bit more of a common spice pick for this meta. I have seen it quite a few times, but like I say, it's because it's got so much coverage in the meta with the flying and the ice types everywhere and fire types. So we did shield up the Rock Slide by them, and now we're going to go for our Body Slam, and they double shielded the Aerodactyl, which is absolutely fine as we're able to get up to another Body Slam. Surprised that they did commit that second shield, but we are hanging on by a sliver of health, just able to win the switch advantage with a shield advantage as well, so that's worked out really well for us. And then they come back in with the Electrode, so we're going to come in with the Wigglytuff now. They swap into Talonflame, we come into the Aerodactyl, and it's a top left by the opponent, which I do not blame them for at all. So you can understand why they double shielded the Aerodactyl there, because they really needed to win the switch advantage, but having the Aerodactyl as a swap in is a bit of a weird one. So into the next battle we had another Lantern on the lead, a Water Gun Lantern, so it wasn't great for us at all, so we made a swap out actually into the Wigglytuff, and they came in with Frostlass, which isn't terrible, as we'll be able to commit one of our shields and just farm them down the whole way, but actually they don't get off another Avalanche, so I don't really know what happened there. I don't know why they were over farming. And then for some reason we go for the Ice Beam rather than the Play Rough, which is crazy. Maybe expecting they weren't going to come in with the Lantern, but I'm not sure why. But anyway, that's great because now we've won the switch advantage, and it's all going to depend on what they've got in the back. And they're not committing a shield to the Lantern, which is really interesting, and it's another Skarmory in the back, and it's a Steel Wing Skarmory, so they're actually doing super effective to us with their fast move. We're only able to get up to one Rock Slide, so we're going to throw that and get the shield out of them. And then we're going to hope that Vigoroth can sweep up there. And there was a bit of lag there on my opponent's end, it looked like. It didn't look like he attacked for a few turns there, which is really interesting. Obviously, the game is still in an absolutely terrible state at the minute. Luckily, we are able to get to a Body Slam here and probably pressure this last shield. They are giving up the shield, and now we're probably going to be able to safely counter them down and throw some energy against the Lantern in the back, hopefully. We do shield this up just in case, and can we count them down before they get to another one? Luckily Steel Wing doesn't generate enough energy. We got the Bulldoze ready to go against the Lantern. They're so low anyway, it doesn't really matter. We didn't need to throw the Bulldoze, but we had it, so we went for the overkill move anyway. So well played to my opponent, unfortunate there. And into the next battle, so what have we got on the lead? We've got Vigoroth. So not particularly great for the Aerodactyl, so we're going to make a swap into Wigglytuff, and they bring in Altaria, and then they back out. So there must have been a misclick there. They must not have meant to have swapped into the Altaria. Really unfortunate for my opponent. I thought I'd leave that in for the lulz. So next battle, we've got Obstagoon on the lead, so not particularly great for the Aerodactyl. They're going to be doing neutral with the counters, and they're going to just be able to outpace us to their charge moves too quickly and take us out. So we'll make a swap into Wigglytuff, and they bring in the Talonflame. So not looking great. Luckily, we can go for the Ice Beam, and the Charm is still digging in. The problem is they probably won't be taken out by the Ice Beam. They know that. Oh, they just survive, and luckily they do get off their energy. So not the worst, but because we got through that charm, we decided to shield it up so we can win the switch. So we're giving up the shield for the switch advantage, and they have a Lantern in the back. So it's not great really, because obviously they're going to be doing a lot of damage to us with their charge moves. We do decide to shield this up and go 2 shields down in case it's a Hydro Pump, which it is. So that's actually a really good call from us. And then they swap into Obstagoon. So bit of a misplay by my opponent, as really they just wanted to keep the Obstagoon aligned to the Aerodactyl. They would have been able to just get to another move against the Vigoroth. Even I think if we'd have gone for the Bulldoze, I don't think it would have been enough. We come in with the Aerodactyl. Can we actually rock throw them down? Looks like we're going to be able to, but they're able to get to one move. Luckily, Night Slash isn't too powerful, and we are able to survive it. And now they come back in with the Lanterns, so things are looking really dicey here. We're going to have to go for the Rock Throw. I didn't want to chance them getting up to a move, so we go for a Rock Throw, hoping they shield it up, and they do shield it up. And now they're actually going to spark us down the whole way. Can we get to a move with the Vigoroth? We are actually able to. It's absolutely insane. Is this going to be enough to take him out? And we do take them out, and I'm not sure how we managed to win that one. It looked for all the world that we were going to definitely lose that match, but somehow we were able to pull it out. That was a great battle, and fair play to my opponent. So into the next battle, we've got another Obstagoon on the lead. So as we saw before, we're going to make a swap into Wigglytuff. We've got 2 hard counters to Obstagoon really, as the fighting's double super effective from the Vigoroth, and then obviously you've got the Charm against the Dark typing with the Wigglytuff. So they bring in a Marowak, which isn't the worst matchup. Luckily we will be able to dig into them a lot with the Charms, even though they are resisted. And as you can see there, Play Rough does a decent amount of damage. But more than likely we're going to lose this matchup. They will probably be able to Fire Spin or Bone Club us down. We are getting them really low actually, and are we going to decide to commit the shield again to win the switch? We don't actually commit a shield this time, we do let it go down, and then we come in with the Aerodactyl. So really interesting, back to square one. They come in with the Obstagoon, we're quickly getting some counters with the Vigoroth before they make another swap out into the Talonflame. Now we're in a bit of an interesting position here. What are we going to do? So we decide to shield this one up, and we're going to put the pressure on with our body slam. So I think obviously the play is going to be to try and get both the shields out of them, and then come in with the Aerodactyl and just farm the Talonflame down, get a move off against the Obstagoon. But it looks to me like they may not commit both their shields to the Talonflame. They let the first one go through. Are we going to commit our second shield here? I would have thought so. We do commit the shield, so now we're probably going to farm up to... No, we actually threw the body slam at the same time. So as we threw the body slam at the same time, we're going to undercharge, but they do commit their second shield anyway, so it's absolutely fine. They bring in the Obstagoon and they get off their energy, which is smart by them. They're taking us out before we can take them out. And now we're going to come in with the Aerodactyl, and we saw this last time, we can survive a Night Slash. I was thinking that the win con was actually to farm down the Obstagoon, but thinking about it, and they've got the Talonflame in the back, so we should be able to just take them out with 1 or 2 rock throws. So we're just going to go straight for the rock slide against the Obstagoon. Can we survive 1 incinerate? It doesn't matter, they don't even see anything, they just go down. Talonflame just closes its eyes and runs off because it's so scared of that oppressive rock throw damage. So into the next one, we've got Venusaur on the lead. So an interesting lead, and we've got an absolute ton of lag, and then we all start jittering to build up the energy. We've already got them into the yellow, but as I said before with the Trevenant, due to the rock typing, we're not going to actually be resisting the grass moves, which is a shame. They do make a quick swap into the Dene, which is fine. We're going to go for the rock slide here and no doubt get a shield out of them. The Dene is pretty squishy, so they're definitely going to shield that up. And now we're coming with the Vigoroth. So it's great we're able to avoid this with the Aerodactyl, as obviously it's going to be taking us out with the electric typing moves. And we're able to charm them down the whole way, so that's great. See what they want to come back in with now. Expecting it to be the Venusaur, and it is the Venusaur they come back in with. So can we get up to an Ice Beam and pressure this final shield? It does look like they were trying to Vine Whip us down, which was quite ambitious. So we do get the last shield out of them, which is absolutely fine. And we're nearly able to charm them down, so it's quite risky on their end. We come in with the Vigoroth, we're going to have to eat a Frenzy Plant here, because they're definitely going to be able to get up to a second move. But they do make a quick swap into Frostlass, which is a really questionable call, because now we're able to come in with the Aerodactyl and do a ton of damage with the rock throws. We do shield this up, which is risky just in case they take us out, but we're able to get to the rock slide and take them out. And they're just going to be touch and go against the Venusaur, but we're able to rock throw them down as they only had the 1 HP left, so the Aerodactyl coming in clutch there at the end, securing what looked like another 4-1 set for us. So this was actually a really fun Pokemon to use, and this team functioned pretty well. I did do pretty decent with it. So into the next one, we had a Trevenant on the lead, and we made a swap into Wigglytuff, and they bring in the Talonflame. So seeing what they're going to want to do here, we're obviously going to let this go through. And this is a bit of a strange one, because depending on IVs, we can take them out with the Ice Beam. But if they got decent IVs, then it will actually survive. And what we want to do is actually undercharge this now so that we can get some extra farm. With the Aerodactyl, to be honest, it's only like 1 fast move more because it does so much damage. We're not going to be getting that much extra farm off them. We decided to shield it up because either way it's going to be doing a lot of damage. And it was a Brave Bird, so it got us even less farm. We took them out in about 2 rock throws. And then now they bring in the Trevenant again. So we're going to let this go through for sure. And it is just a Seed Bomb. And we're looking at a really sticky spot here. Obviously, we've got the Vigoroth, which isn't going to be doing any damage to the Trevenant. But luckily, they did make a swap into Lapras, so that's great for us. We're going to bring in the Vigoroth, and we're just going to go to town again with the counter and the Body Slam. Wait for them to get up to the 3 Ice Shards before they can get to the 4th one and throw a Surf. So we throw the Body Slam now, see if they want to commit the shield. And they don't commit any shield. So at this point, what we're going to do is just commit our shield and look to farm them down, and then just throw a load of energy against the Trevenant. Obviously, it's not great because the Body Slam is not going to be enough to take them out. It's double resisted where they're the Ghost type in, but they do throw up a shield, which is really surprising. And we're going to go straight for another Body Slam before they can get to another move. And they shield that up as well, which is crazy. And we have a Rock Slide ready to go. I don't know if they thought we were out of energy on the Aerodactyl, but that was so silly committing both the shields to Body Slams. We definitely wouldn't have taken them out, but maybe they were worried about getting too low anyway. So unfortunate for my opponent, and a really good battle. I was really happy to see that one come through. Surprised they used both those shields on the Body Slams. But into the next one, we had the Dene on the lead, and we come in with the Vigoroth. Now, the counters are resisted, but they still do a lot of damage. But then they bring in a Trevenant, so not looking great for us at all. All the moves that Vigoroth have are resisted by the Trevenant. We'll go for the Bulldoze, as it's only single resisted by the grass typing rather than the double resisted Body Slams. But sometimes I think it's maybe even better just to go for the body slams where you're getting stabbed and there's a possibility that you're going to be able to get off another one. Sometimes it might be better, but it doesn't matter anyway. We let the Vigoroth go down, come in with the Aerodactyl. We're going to have to shield this one up. Look to rock throw them down the whole way. And now we are taking out the Trevenant. So see if they want to come back in with the Dedenne, which more than likely they will. So we're going to look to actually get up to a rock slide, and then we dip out of there, storing the rock slide on the Aerodactyl, and then we come into the Wigglytuff. I was expecting they may throw a play rough here, which they did, and it's doing a lot of damage. Can we charm them down before they actually get to another move? And look at the lag, what's going on here? The Vigoroth wasn't throwing any fast moves. I don't know if that was just visual, but we've done so much damage to them. And now we come in with the Aerodactyl, and can we actually win this out now? We've got 2 shields. Body Slam is resisted, but it's still going to do a lot of damage as we are Shadow type. So we don't have 2 shields, I don't know why I said that. But we do survive the Body Slam. We're able to rock throw down the Vigoroth. Can we rock throw down the Dedenne? We do. We survived with 1 HP. Somehow managed to win. Don't know if that was because we played well or because we just got a lot of good fortune there with the massive lag against my opponent with the Vigoroth. And we go into the next battle, which I think is the last one. So we've actually got a really spicy pick on the lead. We've got a Breloom. So it wasn't great for the Aerodactyl as they're doing a lot of damage with the counter, and I think they can get to their charge moves pretty quickly. So we decided to make a swap into Vigoroth, which is obviously quite risky considering they're doing super effective to us with the counters. Luckily we're able to get to the body slams and get both the shields out of them. We didn't want to go into the Wigglytuff because obviously that's the direct counter to it straight away, and they could have swapped out. But now they're loaded with energy and we have 2 Pokemon, so we bring in Wigglytuff and then they make an instant swap into Graveler, so they save the energy on the Breloom, but that's great for us really because we don't want to see the Graveler against the Aerodactyl, so we're going to be able to do a lot of damage with the charms. They go for a Rock Blast, which is absolutely fine, and we've got them all the way down, and we managed to charm them down, which is a surprise they didn't get to another move. They come in with the Breloom and we CMP Tire on the Play Rough, go for a Seed Bomb, and we make the decision to shield it up, which is quite risky depending on what they've got in the back. You need to save your shields for Aerodactyl, and unfortunately it's a Stunfisk, so not looking great. We probably should have swapped straight into the Aerodactyl there, as we're just letting them get extra farm, but I think either way we would have been done because they would have just got to a discharge, taken us out, probably just over farmed on their side there and taken out the Wigglytuff. So a bit of a bad call there to use the shield on the Wigglytuff, and it come back to bite me, and I rage quit in typical angry trainer fashion to end the video. So thank you so much for checking out the whole video if you stayed all the way to the end. Did catch a shiny Vulpix in the recent holiday event, which was really, really good, even though it looks exactly the same. And then we got a shiny Snorunt, which I literally have been looking for ages, so really happy with that one. So thank you so much for checking out the video. Please like and subscribe, and you stay angry trainers. I will catch you in the next video.